Hello and welcome to Motors Plus Test Drive. Today we have the all-new Porsche 911 Carrera 4S Convertible. That's kind of a long name. It's all new 2020 because it's the 8th generation. It just came out this year. It just came out all over the world and it actually arrived in the Middle East as well. The 911 Carrera, of course, we know the name because this is the iconic sports car of all time. The 4S here, the 4 means that it's all-wheel drive, and the S is the higher performance than the normal Carrera. And the convertible, of course, is the easiest one to recognize, which is the top that goes down in 12 seconds and actually goes up in 12 seconds. We'll look at it in a little bit. And you can do that up to like speeds of 50. Porsche says 50 kilometers per hour, but we've tried it accidentally actually we were a bit faster than 50, and at 55 it actually works out fine. The nice thing about this convertible is that the roof line is very nice. Actually, it's very aerodynamic. Usually the convertibles are not that smooth in transition between the roof, the back window, and the engine, or like the trunk in other cars. This one is very smooth, which actually brings it to a drag coefficient of 0.30, which is a very low drag coefficient for a car that is a convertible. Even with the top-up convertibles, usually do not score that well in drag coefficients. Now, what does this do for you? It actually, it helps you go faster, it helps you save a little bit of fuel, but also it helps keep the noise level a little bit low inside the vehicle. And this noise level is actually not that bad in this car. When the top is up and when the top is down, it's actually impressive. Now, the looks of the car is a bit modernized. The car is a tad bigger than the older generation, but the lines here and the curves here make it look a little bit compact. Of course, we have the 911 thighs that we're familiar with. They're nice. A bit bigger engine compartment here, a bit more aggressive. We have now the lines in the back are the lights are continuous. This is a new light here. In general, it's an all new shape, but you get a little bit of familiarity and actually a little bit of retro. It's more modern, but it has a little bit of retro looks that dates back to 911s of like previous to the 90s. It's actually, the looks are pretty good, but as often the manufacturers do they do these days, is that their changes are not that dramatic. They're fairly conservative. They're loving, Porsche particularly loves the way the car looks already, so the changes, even though it's an all-new car, it does not make huge changes. It does not make it totally a different car. The 911 always looked kind of like this, all the eight generations. Now we're going to take a look inside, and we're going to see how modern the interior is. It's beautiful, and we'll take the car for a ride, and we really enjoyed that ride. We'll show you how fast the convertible top goes down. Only 12 seconds. And then the windows go up, and when you're inside the car, you don't even feel it. Now, let's go inside. Let's take it for a ride, and I hope you enjoy it as much as we did. Once you enter the car, the bottom door sill has the Carrera 4S in it, and you have the beautiful interior. It's a bit snug, it's a bit cozy, but it's beautiful. It's very modern, yet it has like flat surfaces that would make you feel that it's a bit on the classic, bit retro. And we have the shifter here, is very modern looking, not bulky, sporty shifter. We also have the parking behind it and the selection for the manual. And you have the buttons for putting the top up and down. In general, there's not a lot of space to put your things. It's just one cup holder, and there's no place to put your cell phone or anything like that. You have the button to select the normal mode or the Sports Plus or the Sports for that matter. In the steering wheel, you have a
analog dial for the RPM, but digital dials on the right and left that you can select whatever you want to display on them. You have a beautiful middle screen that is pretty much has all the functions, but also you have the AC in the separate buttons, so that kind of doesn't bother us. It's a beautiful interior.
We'll do our acceleration test. We have to hold our device in our hands because it flies. This is how fast it is. Sports Plus, traction control off, and of course the AC is off. You guys ready? Three and a half seconds. Best we got. Porsche claims a little bit better than that, but it's warm today, and that might be a good reason not to get the full performance. But we're really happy with the 3.5 seconds. Straight line performance. We just saw 3.5 seconds, 0-100. This is more than you need. Really more than you need. Things are becoming a lot attainable now. We have a 3.0 engine that is turbocharged flat six and gets us about 450 horsepower and 530 newton meters, which is higher than the previous model. And there's a little tiny bit of lag in the engine, but it's not bad at all. The transmission is amazing. I mean, we're in normal mode now, and you push it and it downshifts like any nice sports car, like a sport mode of another normal car. And then you go to Sport or Sports Plus, and it's already downshifting just to get you on a higher RPM, just to get you ready. And when you're downshifting, it's just so fast, you don't need anything faster than that. Actually, it gets too snappy if you're not really on the track, or you're not really focused on accelerating and taking corners and going through traffic or something like passing traffic. It's gonna really startle you. So normal mode is 90% of your time, 90% of anybody's time. Then when you want to really kick it, Sports or Sports Plus gets you where more than you need. I mean, I really did not feel that I was missing anything as far as throttle response and as far as the gearbox response. The gearbox is an 8-speed dual clutch automatic, and it's firm and nice and fairly smooth on the normal mode, and I love the straight line performance. I could not ask for more from it. We'll do our braking test. $33.5 meters. This is the best we ever got. We have big fat sporty tires, we have a low CG, and most importantly, we have a rear engine that actually makes the weight transfer very, very well oriented for braking. So how about corners? Well, the car has really nice big fat tires. We're talking about 305, 30 on 21 inch in the back, and 245, 35 on 20 inches in the front. And that's really nice fat tires, very low car. The rear engine helps tremendously in handling, in the front handling. Which brings us to the 4 part of the 4S. In weather like this, you really don't need all-wheel drive. All-wheel drive, I mean, back in the day, The Porsche 911 was hard to drive, was not easy. If you actually do not pay attention, you'd spin it. If you're not a good driver, you'd spin it. Because the geometry of the suspension in the back, together with the weight all the way in the back and all of that, and the sudden kicks of the engine and all of that, will get you actually to spin the car easily. Now the geometry is better. When you're actually pressing the gas, it's not going to go crazy, because I mean you have very good traction control and stability control and all of that. So on dry roads, you really don't need all-wheel drive. I'm not seeing any need for it. It's added complexities, added weight, and added cost. I mean, 30,000 dirhams. I'm kind of, as far as handling is concerned, I think we don't need that all-wheel drive. It might give you a bit of reassurance, but I think it's fine. The car is reassuring. It's not like the old school 911s. Now it's very tolerant. It's very forgiving. It's not gonna go cause you trouble. So I'm happy with the handling. More than happy with the handling. This is the best car, the best handling car we've ever tested. Maybe we did not go crazy yet in really fancy high performance vehicles, but this is a very good handling car. I cannot ask for more. I might keep on saying that, actually, that I cannot ask for more, but hey, it's a new 911. So this is how it is when the top is down. Maybe you can hear me, maybe you can hear me not that well, but this is how it is. It's not too windy. I'm not my hair is not all over the place like in other convertibles. Not that I care that much, but and it's not too loud. I can have a conversation. I can turn on the radio, and the sound is very nice. The Bose sound system is very nice, and it's really hard to get a good sound system in a good sound acoustics in a convertible. But it's not that bad when you have the windows up and when you have that windbreaker. So I wouldn't call this car comfortable. It's not bad for a sports car. Actually, when it comes to the normal mode, it's actually smoother. It's the suspension is more forgiving. It's more comfortable than the previous generation. It's not very noisy. The sound insulation is actually very good for a convertible. You don't really hear that much of the turbo exhaust sound when you're in normal mode. It's fine. The vibrations are not that bad, but again, for a convertible, for a sports car. But don't expect it to be like a nice sedan or a crossover and just a little bit less comfortable. No, it is a good chunk less comfortable. I'm about 183 centimeters, and that didn't bother me in the size in sitting in the car. But I'm over 100 kilograms in weight, and that kind of bothered me in the seat a little bit. I like bucket seats. I like the seats that, I mean, this is not that much of a bucket, but I like the seats that has a lot of lateral support, because I really like to take corners and all of that good stuff. But this is a bit uncomfortable in a long trip. But the car is fairly comfortable for a sports car. Now, you do 4 or 5 hours in this car, it might bother you by the end of the day. You do half an hour in this kind of engine noise and nervous engine, all of that, no, it will bother you. So I would stick to normal most of the time, unless you really need it. And I want to give you a heads up that this is not something, it can be a daily driver, but not if your commute is a very long commute every day, not if you really don't enjoy the fun part and you're looking for the really comfortable and smooth part. Now, the features. I love the dashboard. The dashboard is the RPM is right in the middle and analog, and has a little bit of digital part for the your speed and your gearbox speed in there too. And then you have the like first gear, second gear, third gear. That's what I mean, and the selection. And also you have two digital parts on the side. One of them is speed, but you can change things in the middle, and one of them is totally changeable. You can actually change what it is, and tells you what your all-wheel drive and how much torque in the front and how much in the rear. It can tell you what the tire pressure, of course, like any other vehicle, some data about the vehicle. It also tells you G gauge to see if you're actually going a lot of lateral acceleration or longitudinal acceleration, all of that. And you can go to the GPS over here as well. It's fine. Whatever you want, it's in there. Now, this is very nice and modern, and the screen here is the touch screen is very nice and modern. And it's actually Apple CarPlay and Google Auto, or Android Auto as well, of course. But what we liked also is that you can do the AC from here. You can do some things from here. So it's not like it's exclusively the screen, because that kind of bothers some cars a little bit. One of them was a VW family car, so it's not like it's a totally different make. Now, so the features are they're nice. We don't have adaptive cruise control and lane keeping and those kind of things in this car, and would like to have it. I'm guessing it's more expensive options. Now, the noise is more in the convertible, like any other convertible, but this more than the coupe. That's what I mean. But this convertible is actually impressive in how it's not that bad as far as noise is concerned. Now, if you don't need a convertible, if you don't use it that often, don't get a convertible. Get the coupe. I like the convertible. I've had convertibles, 3 cars in a row for 10 years straight. I've had a convertible. I was living in the US at that point, so half that time I was in Florida, half that time I was in Washington DC. So in Florida, most of the winter you're fine. A bit of the summer you're fine if you're not if you don't get a storm in the afternoon. In Washington, you get a good amount of time in the summer. Now we're talking about the Middle East now, so convertibles are fine. I mean, Dubai is a bit hot, but we're at the end of October now. We have 6 months, 7 months ahead of us. We can actually enjoy the convertible, which is kind of weird. You don't get a lot of convertibles with all-wheel drive. I mean, back in the day, actually, you couldn't. But that's my point. It's like convertibles are good, nice weather. All-wheel drive, not so much. Not in the nice weather, in the bad weather. Now, is it worth it? For me, it's worth it, the convertible. It's worth the 45,000, the bit of vibrations, the bit of lower chassis stiffness. I'm not planning to take it that much on the track and all of that. It's worth it for you. If you're not planning to use it more than once or twice a month, that's kind of like not worth it. Just get the coupe and enjoy the features and enjoy the benefits of just being in a coupe, not a convertible, and enjoy the 45,000 dirhams as well. Now, what I would get is the convertible. This is personal preference. I would not get the all-wheel drive. A little bit more of an advice than personal preference. I don't think there's a use for all-wheel drive in this country, or in our area, in the region, in the whole Middle East. And I'm kind of on the fence when it comes to the S or the Carrera. The Carrera or the Carrera S. It's 75,000 dirhams, but I like the performance, but I think I might live without it. I don't know. This is kind of on the fence. So that's my 2 cents here about the many choices. You have like many choices in every category. In the 911, I mean. So these are the 3 choices. One of them I'm quite 90% certain of the convertible part. I'm on the fence on the S part, and I'm definitely not for the all-wheel drive for Carrera 4 part. I hope you enjoyed this ride as much as we did. Maybe not as much as we did, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. And I hope I gave you enough information about the 911. Like, subscribe, share,